Hey, Sal.
Hank, what's going on? We haven't worked a case in years.
I just bought my car at Carvana, and it was so easy. Too easy.
Think something's up?
You tell me. They got thousands of options. Found a great car at a great price. And it got delivered the next day.
It sounds like Carvana just makes it easy to buy your car, Hank.
Yeah, you're right. Case closed.
Buy your car today on
Carvana.
Delivery fees may apply.
Father, or should I call you Steve? Since it's a new year, maybe we should start cooking fresh with fewer smoke alarms this time. Your cooking's improving, but I can see the stress in your eyes. Anna's mom used this Blue Apron assemble and bake thing during our playdate. Pre-chopped ingredients, over 40 grams of protein, and just one pan to clean up. She just tossed it in the oven and boom, plating like she's got followers. So go to blueapron.com, Steve. Make 2026 the year you win dinner. Blue Apron. Get $50 off your first 2 orders plus free shipping with code STIR50. Terms and conditions apply. Visit blueapron.com/terms for more.
At Blinds.com, it's not just about window treatments. It's about you, your style, your space, your way. Whether you DIY or want the pros to handle it all, you'll have the confidence of knowing it's done right. From free expert design help to our 100% satisfaction guarantee, everything we do is made to fit your life and your windows. Because at Blinds.com, the only thing we treat better than windows is you. Visit Blinds.com now for up to 45% off with minimum purchase plus a professional measure at no cost. Rules and restrictions apply.
A short walk down a narrow corridor brought them to a door marked only with a number. No name, no rank. Dr. Voss pressed his palm to the panel beside it, then stepped back. The door slid open with a muted hiss. The room beyond was small, no larger than the trailer bedroom Bill had grown up in, but the resemblance ended there. The walls were smooth and seamless, a soft matte gray that absorbed light instead of reflecting it. Recessed panels adjusted brightness automatically as Bill stepped inside, responding to his movement. The air was cool and perfectly still, filtered to a faintly metallic cleanliness. A bed folded out from the wall with mechanical precision, already made. A desk emerged when Bill approached it, its surface waking to life with faint translucent icons. Storage was hidden everywhere, drawers that appeared only when touched, compartments built into the floor, shelves that slid silently from the walls. There was a private bathroom tucked behind a curved partition, its fixtures minimal and immaculate.
It has everything you'll need. Nutrition, communication, personal effects. Anything you don't, we'll provide.
Bill took it in without comment. Living inside the facility hadn't occurred to him, but it made a certain kind of sense. The signal had never respected boundaries. Why should he?
You'll remain here overnight. Tomorrow will be intensive.
Bill nodded. Voss regarded him briefly as if searching for hesitation. Finding none, he turned to leave.
Get some rest, Bill. Real rest. You'll want your mind clear.
The doors slid shut behind him, sealing with a soft finality. Alone, Bill sat on the edge of the bed. It adjusted instantly, molding to his weight. He exhaled, the tension in his shoulders easing despite himself. The room hummed faintly, not the oppressive buzz of machinery, a controlled, almost reassuring resonance. Shielded, contained. For the first time in days, sleep felt possible. The soft chime sounded less than an hour later. Bill was still awake when the door opened. A woman stepped inside, tablet tucked under her arm, eyes sharp and curious behind thin-framed glasses. She looked to be in her early 30s, hair pulled back in a practical knot, lab coat discarded in favor of dark slacks and a fitted shirt.
Sorry. Didn't mean to interrupt, but if I waited until morning, Voss would have told me no.
Bill sat up. That's fine, he told her. She smiled, quick and genuine.
I'm Dr. Elena Park, Applied Systems. You're Bill.
Yes, Bill. Yes, I'm Bill.
Good. That means the files match the person.
She handed him the tablet. Screen lit up with a dense list of documents, schematics, data sets, theoretical models marked with warning symbols and clearance tags.
This isn't everything. It's the least alarming version. Background theory, observational anomalies, prior attempts at classification.
Bill scrolled, his exhaustion momentarily forgotten. The material was unlike anything he'd studied. Physics pushed past its accepted edges. signal theory intertwined with disciplines he didn't recognize. Some pages were redacted so heavily they resembled negative space. "What am I going to see tomorrow?" Bill asked. Elena hesitated just long enough to be noticeable.
Confirmation of a lot of things you've probably suspected. Get some sleep. Whatever you think you're prepared for, trust me, you're not.
She glanced around the room, then back at him.
Oh, and Bill, if you hear anything tonight, don't try to answer it.
The door closed behind her. Bill lay back on the bed, tablet resting against his chest, the words confirmation and don't answer it echoing in his mind. The room dimmed automatically, easing into darkness. Breakfast was silent by design. The dining area was smaller than Bill expected, a narrow room carved deep into the facility with no windows and a ceiling low enough to discourage lingering. A handful of tables were bolted to the floor, each paired with minimalist chairs that looked more engineered than comfortable. Soft white light filled the space without an obvious source, flattening shadows and erasing any sense of time. There were maybe a dozen people in the room when Bill entered. Scientists, technicians, analysts. He could tell by posture alone. They ate without speaking, eyes fixed on trays or data screens, movements efficient and restrained. No one looked up when Bill sat. The food was simple but unfamiliar. Smooth textures, clean flavors, nothing fried, nothing heavy. He tasted grain he couldn't identify, protein that didn't quite resemble meat, fruit reduced to precise portions. It filled him without weighing him down, like fuel instead of indulgence. Dr. Voss joined him halfway through the meal. He sat across from Bill without asking, setting his tray down with careful precision. For a moment, he ate in silence as though this were simply another controlled variable.
The nutrition here is intentional, balanced at the metabolic level, designed to keep you sharp, energetic, light.
Bill nodded, chewing slowly.
No preservatives. No fillers, none of that dirt and fog they pump into the food out there.
The phrase landed harder than Bill expected. Out there. Not outside, not above ground. Out there, as if the world he'd come from were a separate, lesser place. Bill felt the distance open up in his chest, sudden and undeniable. The trailer, the gas station, Sharon's coffee gone cold in her hands. All of it felt farther away than it should have after only one night.
You'll get used to it. Most people do.
Do they? Bill asked. Voss smiled faintly.
The ones who stay.
Breakfast ended without ceremony. Trays were cleared automatically, surfaces disinfected the moment Bill stood. The room emptied in orderly silence. Voss didn't return Bill to his quarters. Instead, they walked deeper. Corridors narrowed, ceilings lowered, materials shifting from polished composite to reinforced alloy. Access points required multiple confirmations, biometric, behavioral, something Bill couldn't identify but felt nonetheless like the building was checking his intentions as much as his identity. The hum beneath the floor grew louder, more resonant. "What's my assignment?" Bill asked. Voss didn't answer immediately. They stopped before a massive door set into the rock itself. Warning symbols lined its edges, layered atop one another as if no single classification had been sufficient. A faint vibration pulsed through the metal, steady and patient.
You're here because you recognize signals, because you don't dismiss anomalies simply because they don't fit existing frameworks.
He placed his hand against the door panel. The mechanisms inside responded, unlocking with a deep, unfamiliar sound.
Today, you'll be introduced to an object we recovered 6 months ago. It does not conform to known human engineering standards.
The door began to open.
We don't know what it is. We don't know where it came from.
A sliver of darkness appeared beyond the widening gap, vast, cavernous, threaded with shapes that did not resolve easily into meaning.
But it responds to certain frequencies.
Bill felt his pulse quicken.
And it's been waiting.
It was not from our world. Or, Bill wondered silently, was this their world first? The door finished sliding open with a hiss that echoed through the cavernous room beyond. Bill stepped inside carefully, his boots echoing softly against the polished floor, and froze. The object before him was impossible. impossible. It hovered, not above any visible support, a complex machine of interlocking panels and filaments that seemed to shift subtly as he moved. Its surfaces reflected light in ways that made angles look curved. Planes fold into themselves as though it existed in more than 3 dimensions at once. There was no recognizable source of energy, no wiring, no power cells, nothing that would explain why it floated or why tiny arcs of luminescence danced along its edges. Bill's pulse raced. This was the culmination of every obsession he'd carried since childhood. Every late night spent soldering radios, recalibrating antennas, listening for signals no one else could hear. Dr. Voss's voice cut softly through the hum of the room.
Composed, controlled, observe first. You'll have a chance to interact in a moment.
Bill nodded, forcing himself to breathe evenly. His hands itched, wanting to reach out, but he restrained them. First, data. Observation method. He activated the portable sensors Voss had provided. Electromagnetic probes, field meters, particle analyzers. Nothing behaved as expected. Magnetic readings fluctuated violently without a discernible pattern. Gravity sensors reported inconsistent microshifts in every direction. Even the temperature readings oscillated unpredictably, though his hand felt nothing unusual.
Look for patterns. Don't assume normal rules apply.
Bill circled the object, his eyes scanning the moving machine. When he touched one of the probes to a filament, it pulsed, light moving through the structure like a ripple in water, but not in response to the probe's presence. It was as though it had expected him. He withdrew the sensor carefully, heart hammering. He ran simulations on the tablet, feeding in spatial data, light refraction patterns, and electromagnetic anomalies. The object responded almost immediately. Sections rotated subtly, aligning with the calculations as if it could anticipate them. Bill realized with a shock that he wasn't observing it objectively. He was interacting. The machine seemed to detect intention.
This is why we've only ever allowed carefully controlled observation. It's not predictable. It's not passive. It adapts.
Bill's mind raced. The implications were staggering. Anti-gravity fields, dynamic energy distribution, structures that obeyed no known physics. And yet, the object obeyed him, in a sense, responding to his input, even if only indirectly. He focused, forcing every instinct to dial back excitement. He documented everything: pulse rates, light oscillations, filament shifts, spatial distortions, every measurement, every anomalous reading. He labeled and time-stamped with precision. And still, in the back of his mind, he couldn't ignore it. The sense that it was aware. Not in a human sense, but sentient enough to recognize he was studying it.
Do you understand what you're seeing?
Bill nodded slowly. Enough to know that our understanding of physics won't explain all of it.
Good. Composure, Lamar. Never let fascination compromise rigor. The moment it senses that, it changes.
He wanted to lean closer, touch a filament, see if it would respond, if it would hum like some living instrument, but he resisted. Instead, he circled again, recording, analyzing, calculating, thrilled beyond reason, yet disciplined. This was the apex of every skill he'd honed, and somewhere in the machine of shifting panels, he thought he saw it pulse deliberately, as though it was acknowledging him, as though it was waiting for something. Bill knew with a thrill he could barely contain that this was only the beginning. They didn't let him leave the chamber on his own. One moment he was still watching the impossible machine settle back into its slow, unreadable motion. The next he was being guided down a side corridor by 2 technicians he hadn't noticed enter. No alarms, no urgency, just procedure unfolding exactly as designed.
Elena will walk you through it,
one of them said, already moving away. The examination suite felt different from the rest of the facility. Brighter, more clinical. The walls were lined with equipment that hummed softly, their displays already active as if anticipating him. Bill sat when indicated, stood when asked, followed every instruction without hesitation. Elena was there, tablet in hand, expression calm but intent.
You did well. That doesn't mean what you think it means.
How do you know what I think? She glanced at him, a flicker of approval crossing her face.
Good answer.
The first tests were physical, Heart rate under variable stress, blood oxygen levels, reflex response time down to the millisecond. They drew blood, more than once, and ran it through machines that analyzed changes in real time. Bill felt oddly detached, as if his body were just another system being monitored. Then the mental evaluations began. Images flashed across the screen in front of him, fractals, symbols, distorted spatial diagrams that bent and folded in ways uncomfortably similar to the machinery he'd just seen. Bill's brain activity spiked on the monitors beside him. Elena watched closely.
We're looking for resonance, cognitive alignment. Some people experience heightened perception after exposure. Others experience fragmentation.
Fragmentation?
Disorientation, obsessive fixation, in a few cases, hallucinations. Not everyone responds positively.
They asked him to recall the object in detail, to describe its motion, its light, the way it felt to stand near it. Each time he spoke, the reading shifted, subtle changes in neural activity and microexpressions he didn't know he was making.
Your baseline is unusually stable. Most subjects show elevated fear responses.
I wasn't afraid.
I know. That's what concerns them.
The tests grew more invasive. Sound frequencies played just below conscious hearing. Light pulses synchronized to its heartbeat. Mathematical problems layered with distractions meant to induce cognitive overload. Bill solved what he could, ignored what he couldn't, staying methodical, controlled. At one point, the monitor spiked sharply. Elena's hand stilled.
Bill, what are you thinking about right now?
He answered honestly. The way it reacted when I adjusted the probe, like it was compensating. The spike leveled out. She made a note on her tablet. This one took longer than the others. Finally, the equipment powered down. The room seemed to exhale with them.
That's it for now. You passed.
Bill blinked. Passed what? She hesitated, then answered.
The initial screening. Whether continued exposure would destabilize you.
And if it had? Elena looked away.
You wouldn't be here.
Technicians removed the sensors. Bill stood, legs slightly unsteady, but mind clear in a way that surprised him. Exhausted, yes, but sharpened, too. Like something had tuned him rather than drained him. As they walked him back toward his quarters, Elena slowed.
You should know, the machine doesn't react this way to everyone. Some people can stand in the room for hours and nothing happens. Others don't sleep again.
Bill stopped. Why me? Elena studied him for a long moment.
We don't know yet. That's why you're the one being studied now.
Bill's door closed as Elena smiled and waved. He lay down on his bed trying to grasp the full day of his life which had just unfolded. He didn't want to let the excitement drown him. He had to remain diligent, focused. That's what got him here. That's what would make him stay here. The question Bill now had to ask himself, when would he leave?
Avoiding your unfinished home projects because you're not sure where to start? Thumbtack knows homes, so you don't have to. Don't know the difference between matte paint finish and satin? Or what that clunking sound from your dryer is? With Thumbtack, you don't have to be a home pro. You just have to hire one. You can hire top-rated pros, see price estimates, and read reviews, all on the app. Download today.
Hey, Sal.
Hank, what's going on? We haven't worked a case in years.
I just bought my car at Carvana, and it was so easy. Too easy.
Think something's up?
You tell me. They got thousands of options. Found a great car at a great price. And it got delivered the next day.
It sounds like Carvana just makes it easy to buy your car, Hank.
Yeah, you're right. Case closed.
Buy your car today on
Carvana.
Delivery fees may apply.
Testing season is right around the corner, and this is when confidence really matters. When kids take time to review key concepts and strengthen their skills before assessments, it can make all the difference. IXL helps reinforce what they're learning right now, so they walk into every test feeling prepared, capable, and confident. IXL is an award-winning online learning platform that helps kids truly understand what they're learning, whether they're building math confidence, strengthening reading and writing skills, or reviewing science concepts. Designed for students from pre-K through 12th grade, IXL delivers personalized, interactive practice that adapts to your child's level and pace. It's an easy, effective way to support learning as the school year heads into its final stretch. Studies show kids who use IXL score higher on tests, proven in all 50 states. IXL is used in 96 of the top 100 school districts in the U.S. Make an impact on your child's learning. Get IXL now. And listeners can get an exclusive 20% off IXL membership when they sign up today at IXLlearning.com/audio. Visit IXLlearning.com/audio to get the most effective learning program out there at the best price.